The sun was hot in Mombasa. It beat down on the tarmac at Moi International Airport. We were all boarding the massive Boeing 777. The destination was Sydney, Australia. A long journey ahead. I checked my gear. Always be prepared. You never know what a journey will throw at you. The air inside the cabin was cool and smelled of adventure. People were excited. Families found their seats. Business travelers settled in for the long haul. The flight attendants moved with calm purpose. They were the professionals. Their smiles were reassuring. This was just another flight for them. But for many, it was the start of something big. The engines began to roar, a deep rumble that you feel in your chest. It's the sound of power, the sound of defying gravity. I looked out the window. The ground crew waved us off. They were small figures against the vast airfield. The plane started moving slowly. Then it picked up speed, faster and faster. The coconut palms of the Kenyan coast blurred into a green streak. The feeling of acceleration pushes you back into your seat. It's an incredible force. You are a passenger, but you feel part of this powerful machine. This is human ingenuity at its finest. With a final surge, we lifted off. The ground fell away beneath us. Mombasa became a map. The turquoise waters of the Indian Ocean stretched out to the horizon. It was a beautiful sight. The world looks different from up here. Peaceful, orderly. The patchwork of fields and the winding roads all looked so small. The plane banked, turning east. We were on our way. The captain's voice came over the intercom. He sounded calm, experienced. He told us the flight time and wished us a pleasant journey. We were in good hands, or so we thought. As we climbed higher, the coast of Africa disappeared behind us. Below us was a vast blue wilderness, the Indian Ocean. It's one of the most unpredictable oceans in the world. From this height, it looked like a calm blanket. But I knew better. Nature is powerful. It demands respect. The passengers were settling in. Some were reading, others were watching movies. The mood was relaxed. The gentle hum of the engines was a constant companion. We were suspended between the sky and the sea, heading for a new continent. The journey had truly begun. Several hours into the flight, things changed. The smooth ride was over. The plane began to shake, gently at first, then more violently. This was turbulence. The seatbelt sign flashed on with a sharp chime. The captain's voice returned, still calm but with a new edge of command. He informed us we were hitting some rough air. He instructed everyone to return to their seats and fasten their seatbelts. You could feel the tension rise in the cabin. The relaxed atmosphere was gone. It was replaced by a quiet sense of unease. This is where your training kicks in. Stay calm, assess the situation. The turbulence grew stronger. The plane bucked and dropped. Outside the window, the sky was a dark, angry grey. The wings of the Boeing 777 were flexing, designed to do just that. But it's a gut-wrenching sight. Some passengers gasped. A few nervous cries could be heard. You have to control your fear. Fear is the mind killer. The flight attendants moved through the cabin, checking on everyone. Their faces were firm but reassuring. They were a lifeline of calm in a shaky world. They showed no panic, and that helped everyone else. They are the unsung heroes of the sky. The pilot was fighting it. You could feel the plane adjusting, small, precise movements. He was navigating through the storm, not just enduring it. This is where experience counts for everything. An experienced pilot knows the sky. He reads the weather like a map. He was using his skills to keep us safe. He wasn't just flying a plane. He was leading an expedition through a hostile environment. We were all part of his team now. Our survival depended on his expertise. I trusted him. You have to put your faith in the person in charge. After what felt like an eternity, the shaking began to subside. The violent jolts turned back into gentle rocking. Then, slowly, the plane steadied. The captain came on the intercom again. He apologized for the discomfort. He explained we had passed through the worst of the weather system. A collective sigh of relief went through the cabin. We had faced the storm and come through it. It was a reminder. Nature is always in charge. We are just visitors. We had been tested and we had survived. The long night continued, but we were all a little different now. The rest of the flight over the Indian Ocean was smooth. We crossed over the vast expanse of Australia in darkness. Then, we were out over the Pacific Ocean. The flight path was unusual. The captain announced a diversion due to unexpected atmospheric conditions ahead. We were being rerouted. He mentioned we would be passing near the edge of a region known for strange phenomena, the Bermuda Triangle. A murmur went through the cabin. Most people dismissed it as a myth. But I've learned that the world is full of mysteries. You should never dismiss the unknown. Suddenly, the cabin lights flickered. The engine noise changed. It became a high-pitched hum. It was a sound I had never heard before. Outside the window, the darkness was replaced by a strange, ethereal green light. It pulsed and swirled like a living thing. It wasn't a storm, it was something else entirely. The navigation screens on the seatbacks went blank. The captain was silent. The entire crew was trying to figure this out. You could feel the confusion. This was not in any manual. This was uncharted territory. The green light enveloped us completely. It was like flying through a tunnel of liquid emerald. There was no sense of up or down, no turbulence, just this strange, silent, glowing passage. Time itself felt like it was stretching and compressing. I looked at my watch. The second hand was frozen. The digital displays of others were just a blur of numbers. We were caught in something beyond our understanding. This was a survival situation unlike any other, not a fight against nature, but against the very laws of physics. All you can do is hold on. Just as suddenly as it began, it was over. The green light vanished. The normal darkness of the night sky returned. The engine hum went back to its familiar roar. The cabin lights steadied. The navigation screens flickered back to life, but the map they showed was wrong. It showed our position as being right over Sydney. That was impossible. We should have been hours away. The captain's voice came on, but it was strained. He sounded confused. He simply said, "Cabin crew, prepare for landing." We were descending, but where and when were we landing? The plane broke through the clouds. Below us was Sydney. The iconic harbour bridge and the opera house were there. But something was wrong. The skyline was different. There were towers I had never seen before, gleaming structures that reached for the sky. The boats in the harbour were sleek, futuristic designs. Flying vehicles like small personal drones zipped between the buildings. It was Sydney, but a Sydney from a science fiction movie. A sense of awe and deep confusion spread through the aircraft. We were all silent, staring out the windows. The landing was perfect. The pilot brought the massive plane down as smoothly as if it were a normal day. But nothing was normal. As we taxied toward the terminal, we could see the airport was different too. The ground vehicles were automated. The architecture was sleek and metallic. There were no human ground crew members waving us in. Instead, robotic arms guided us to the gate. The date displayed on a giant screen on the terminal building was clear, July 3rd, 2030. We had not just flown through space, we had flown through time. The cabin door opened. The air that flowed in felt the same, but the world outside was not. We were escorted off the plane by officials in strange silver uniforms. They looked at us with a mixture of curiosity and concern. We were a living time capsule. The passengers were in a state of shock. Some were crying softly, others were just staring, their minds trying to process the impossible. We had left Mombasa in 2025. We had arrived in Sydney 5 years in the future. Our families, our lives, everything had moved on without us. Standing there on the soil of 2030, a new kind of adventure began. This wasn't about surviving in the wild, this was about surviving in time. We were all explorers now, pioneers in a future we never expected to see. The fear was real. The uncertainty was immense, but there was also a spark of excitement. We had faced the unknown and passed through it. We had seen a wonder beyond belief. The flight from Mombasa was supposed to be a journey of thousands of miles. It turned out to be a journey of 5 years. The ultimate survival challenge had just begun.